Good afternoon. Let me start by thanking you for being here. The images beside me are a testament to the United States' commitment to alleviating the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. This U.S. plane, which landed in Egypt yesterday, contains 54,000 pounds of humanitarian assistance, including UN medical items and food aid. We're grateful to the humanitarian workers who will now deliver this aid to Gaza. Their life-saving efforts have been buoyed by the humanitarian pause we helped to broker with Qatar and Egypt, which has allowed more aid to get into the hands of the Palestinians in dire need. This is real progress, and it is a direct result of our diplomacy. Still, I have to admit we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied because we know much more humanitarian aid is needed. And we've made very clear that this increased level of assistance, and ideally even more assistance, needs to be sustained even after this phase of hostage releases is over. The United States is proud to be the single largest donor to UNRWA, but we cannot do this alone. And for so long, we have watched as member states commit to more support for UNRWA, but fail to back up their words with actual financial contributions. Now is the time for those commitments to be honored. But regardless of whether others step up, we will continue to lead, to get humanitarian aid into Gaza, and to get all the hostages out of Gaza. Alongside the humanitarian pause, now in its sixth day, we've been able to secure the release of dozens of hostages that were being held by Hamas and other groups. And as I said in the council just now, we will not rest until all hostages are free. And if Hamas chooses to continue to release hostages, then Israel is prepared to continue the pause in the fighting. I'll add just one more thing before I take a couple questions from you. We need to start looking ahead to the future after this conflict, to a future where Israelis and Palestinians live side by side in peace with equal measure of freedom and dignity and prosperity. This must be our charge because it is the only way forward and the only way to break the cycle, the terrible cycle of violence. Thank you very much. I'll take a few questions.
Start with Michelle.
Oh, hi, Michelle.
Hi, Ambassador. Thank you so much. How hopeful are you that an extension of the truce can be reached today? What have you heard on that? And then you talk about the day after. What does that look like, and should President Abbas be a part of that? What does the US think?
Look, we're hopeful that the truce can be extended, but as I said in the council, this is all in the hands of Hamas. The Israelis have said if they continue to release 10 hostages a day, they will extend by a day. So it truly is, it is in their hands, but I do think there is a potential for that, and we're actively working to extend the deal. And you had a second question, I'm sorry.
Just what does the day after look like in Gaza, and does the US believe that President Abbas should be playing a role in that?
Look, we have been very clear, and I said that also in my statement, that we have to start looking to and working toward the day after, and that we need to work toward a unified Palestinian state with Gaza and the West Bank as contiguous. And that should be under the authority of the Palestinian Authority. We will continue to work toward that and work toward seeing that that actually comes to fruition.
Thank you. We can go over here. Probably time for one more after this.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador. My name is Susan Tehrani from WION, India. My question is regarding American hostages. There is a lot of concern that it's taking a lot longer than expected. Do you expect that perhaps Nicholas Burns or Secretary of State Blinken will have some positive news by the end of the week? Can you tell us
Look,
about that?
we're continuing to work to get American hostages and all hostages released from the clutches of Hamas and the other groups. 2 Americans have already been released, and we're hoping to get all of the hostages, all of the Americans out.
Okay, so it's time for maybe one more. Yeah.
Hi, Ambassador. Thank you. I'm Yuna from the Israeli TV. How does the U.S. see what's ahead after the truce, after the fighting resumes, and what is the message for the Israeli government?
Look, our message is that any efforts the Israeli government makes to defend itself, and we support those efforts, but those efforts have to take into account civilian casualties, and that as they pursue Hamas, they need to account for civilians, and we need to make sure that civilians get to safety and that they have access to humanitarian assistance. And we're continuing to have those discussions on a regular basis with the Israelis. I'm sorry?
With the elimination of Hamas.
Israel's goal is to ensure that Hamas is never in a position to attack Israel again. And as they pursue Hamas, we've asked and encouraged and urged that they take every measure to ensure the lives of civilians.
Thanks, everyone. Sorry, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.